Today, I'm going to introduce you to a tool that's truly little known, yet very powerful, a notebook. It's version 3, the boost version with Gemini 3. It's simply unbelievable. By the end of this video, I'll show you how to use this LM notebook, as there is a free version and a paid version available. Certainly, today, the most incredible thing is the ability to generate a full course video from our documents. And that's a real gem. I will show you how it's done, step by step, and in detail what the steps are, and we will go even further to show you that we can integrate the content into a fully professional presentation. On the interfaces, and I will show you what can be done today with this application, our book, which is powered by Gemini 3. This is now precisely what you need to know about our book. On the Gemini 3 version, it is always accessible in the free version, truly. So there are currently two different kinds of plans. The Plus plan and the plan today with a 1-month free trial at no cost. So, if you haven't yet tested Gemini 3 to its full potential, absolutely go for it. If you're like me and you've been won over by the Google ecosystem, I can tell you one thing. It's true that $20 a month can be a budget, but it's simply one of the best options out there today. And today, I'll tell you, I've paid only $20 to have it for a year thanks to a trick I'll reveal at the very bottom of the video. You'll have a link you can click, and that link will let you discover the basics of it inside this module. You can access it. It will give you access to the sources I use to find the best prices. The very best deals every single week. For anyone who wants information now, there is a contact form you can use, and I find sources such as Netflix, HBO, Disney, Spotify, Canvas, ChatGPT, Kling, 11 Labs, and many other sources. Every week I update the sources with the best rates and the best prices across the platforms I monitor. And I have the information you gave me that lets me access Google AI Pro yearly for €20. And Google Ultra doesn't exist today as an annual option, but you have a fairly generous trial plan at $139 per month for 3 months. And otherwise, I found offers around €35, which unlock Google's absolute potential, notably Gemini 3 Pro Thinking, which today is by far the most powerful, truly, in the entire market. The difference between the free and paid versions of our book. With 3G, it's the paid edition. We're limited to 50 sources in the free edition, 300 sources in the paid edition, 200 MB per source, 50 daily requests, 500 rockets in the paid edition. And you also have what's called the analytics section. I'll show you that on Google's web interface today. To sum up features, you press the button to open another book. If you're on a free plan, you get 50. On a paid one, 500. By clicking it, you can quickly add your documents now. The system's power is that it works on your documents. So, if you were afraid of sharing your information with Google, our book with Gemini 3 Pro allows you to create a completely and utterly closed system. There is no information that will leave this model. It has no internet connection, and they have not been trained. With our book, you have the option to add sources, select sources, and to work very precisely on each of them. By clicking on it, we always get a summary, the keywords of the main topics, and all of the content as well. I'll show you some details about the interfaces and how it works. In the rest of the video, we simply call the prompt zone. This is where you directly ask questions to the model. For example, explain to me that element in my document, and we have the processing. The LLM that retrieves the document in question will work on this document exactly and will give me a response. So in this system, the strength lies in having a system that is based on quotation. Whenever the model responds to you, you can now see where the element it used to respond to you is located. This helps to limit hallucinations. It helps prevent data leakage, but you will see that there are still things to know in the interface on the right-hand bar. You have a set of pre-recorded features. If you like this content and would like to support the channel by liking, you can boost, which will help support small creators like me, and, above all, think of Abner, the features, simply incredible, of our book, powered with G3, the generation of audio and the generation of video with the audio, for you right now to enjoy higher quality content. And the animations, the mind map, what we call the reports, that is to say, the minutes, the flashcards, the quizzes, the infographics, and the Google Slides presentations as well. We are going to start now from a new interface creation. To show you how it works, we will click on the Create button. Let's switch to the interface. This is where you will add your sources. The first type of sources at the source level. Not all sources still work. They are controlled by me, one link. I want to show I will add a link, and you will see that not all sources can be exported by the model today. If you have a problem, you must retrieve only the text portion. What you do is that you will retrieve, for example, the full text of the page, and in sources, you will copy the text, you switch to the interface and paste the entire content. This will allow you to send the information to the model. When you send a document, you can tick it or untick it to work on it. Then you can delete it or rename it. By clicking it, you instantly get the text content. The same principle applies here. The summary, keywords, and you can click a keyword to locate very precisely these pieces of information inside your own text. Here, the topic concerns deploying the RAG in practical terms. In the automated drafting training, I updated with what is called Vertex Contexts RAG. It's an advanced system that typically costs roughly between $15,000 and $50,000 to deploy for businesses. And today, essentially, everyone with the configurations you demonstrate is able to set up this kind of RAG for any sort of small or medium enterprise up to 500,000 documents. This is an extremely powerful tool in the interface here. We can ask questions and work on our files. If we need to add info, we have several options. And that's when you must realize one crucial thing. Often in YouTube videos, you're told good. When you want to find a document, you type in the search bar, give me railway topics. Okay, if we do that, what's going to happen is the following problem. The model will mainly search for information on Google, and you will have mostly blog sources in practice. And that will pose a problem when we start analyzing the sources, really. We'll have external sources, specifically. Wikipedia isn't a reliable source, and that's really the same. If we were lawyers, jurists, or doctors, we couldn't base anything on a blog. So we must clearly frame the model. I'll use a structural prompt, and we'll restate the same request with the model fully framed. With this prompt, and in accordance with the following structure, we will rely solely on articles drawn from the scientific literature concerning RA systems. We will ensure that my knowledge base is completely certified for the AI field. We will therefore now audit the content, and by clicking the provided links, you will see that we are restricted to sources from Cornell University and that every document we will integrate is a certified source. So today, we have, as a new tool within the interface NotebookLM, the ability to define integration sources. This is very important, again, for, indeed, high-responsibility professional fields. Doctors, lawyers, jurists, estate agents. When you select your sources, you can tick or untick the items you want, and you can now import them into the interface. The thing that's unusual is this. When you have documents, you will encounter something. Here, we have a document with pictures. When you actually import a system like this, what you need to know is that you will realize that all texts, all diagrams, and all the graphics have disappeared. So, this is part of the steps to be built with more advanced systems to embed understanding in the model. The result is that the model will see the text, but not the image to grasp the context. So there are hallucination risks in the model's outputs. This will affect all math formulas and the spreadsheets that will disappear. The analysis of statistical graphs will no longer be present. So, if you do data analysis, you should be aware that all this information will be removed from documents. If you need to work on your documents, and I want to focus only on the training I updated on the RAG systems, we can ask questions in the interface. Is Llama present? That's an interface that permits you to install AIs, either locally or in the cloud, and to run them yourself. So for businesses in secure systems or for individuals, you no longer need to pay for ChatGPT subscriptions, and there is immediate topic identification within my content, which means that by clicking, you can locate the quotation. Imagine you have a large legal file with 150 items. You search for the quotation on the topics in question at hand now. You enter the keywords and you immediately locate each topic with its corresponding quotations. What I showed you there are the new features with GE3 that will allow you to opt for a thinking tool for businesses, for academics and researchers, and for doctors and lawyers, the new audio features. Back then, at first, it was a bit of a gadget for making podcasts, but today I must tell you that I am impressed by the quality, relevance, and the settings. You can set it up in a short version or a longer one, between 3 and 8 minutes, and focus on certain points. Listen to the critical analysis, very interesting and sometimes biting, but sometimes it's good to have someone who is very critical of us.
So welcome to this new exploration as we begin. Today, we are going to tackle a question that I think fascinates all of us a little bit. How can we transform these artificial intelligences, which are sometimes rather general, into genuine bespoke experts? We've got our hands on a series of notes, the strategic notes, on this technique for the advanced use of large language models, the famous LLMs, and our mission today is to dissect all of this and move forward together. In short, from the simple conversation with an AI toward constructing a powerful personal assistant that would be fed by our own knowledge. And that?
Today marks the beginning. The novelty here is incredible in our book. With Gemini 3 Pro integration, it's the power of multimodality, video included. I'm simply going to show you this presentation, where you really have a course based on the training plan that I gave to Lai, and which was able to do something for me quite simply. Amazing.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a fairly big chunk. We'll take a fairly complex AI course and turn it into a super clear strategic framework. The aim is to get you through.
We can speed the voice up, set it to 1.5.
A simple AI user has a real architect for your strategy. We'll see what makes the difference between basic AI use and a new path. Here's today's plan. First, we'll identify Leah's glass ceiling and its current limits. Next, we'll dive into RAG, a technology that is changing the game for knowledge access, and then we'll get practical with a handy toolbox for applying all this. And to finish, we'll see what's beyond Horizon. We start with the first pillar, Lee's famous glass ceiling. It's essential because before you build anything, you must know basics.
It's incredible. Honestly, I gave him the blueprint for the training course that I updated, and you have the model that understood it, but really too. A depth I never thought possible today, indeed. All I'm going to say about the presentation is that I've put together a 6.5-minute synthesis to let anyone understand and illustrate the subject we will address, and the topics and the main themes. Honestly, I'm shocked by the functions. We have a function that's always there. Much appreciated. That's the mind map section, the part I've just validated in the mind map. It's a system that will let you identify all topics and how they're linked. We'll understand that we're discussing the limits of LI on response limits, the contextual windows, LI memory for understanding language, the LM models, and the interplay of model parameters, what we call the top P and top K, and everything that affects token counts in the logic layer, the final guide. All right, once that's said, well, we can go into each sequence and understand the course structure in terms of synthesis. It's amazing, and all that. We'll also retrieve it. Let me show you. Just click the button on the right. You'll retrieve the interface and this interface here. We'll use it later to give presentations. Among the new features I want to show you, there is also the report function under the same principle. We can parameterize a number of functions, always by indicating the output language. A few parameters for the function you want to integrate. So today, we're on a customizable and portable system indeed. It's a synthesis system. It will give you something like a masterclass based on your notes for you personally. It will base itself on the training data it has received to offer you a well-informed view on the subject at hand. And I must say that frankly, it is fast, efficient, and concise. That's exactly what we're asking Leah to do today in order to save time within the system. Flashcard. It's more of a visual function. We actually want to obtain essentially essential flashcards with a small, quick quiz system built in. We will see the answer each time and move on to the next one. This could be useful for school pupils, for studies, and for anyone who is revising or getting ready for maths prep and medicine exams. It's roughly the same idea as the function, only a touch more playful with multiple choice questions. You click the buttons, advance to the next, and if you're wrong, you get a hint. The imaging system. It's a computer-generated image. The model can understand the relation of the whole subject you capture and will use the NanoBanana V version to integrate it. It's not perfect. There are a few small errors, the text overlapping the image, and an inaccuracy on the pop-up. But overall, I think there's a very big improvement in coherence, and we can't help but feel it could really help us. In some cases, it's going to save us a huge amount of time. And again, you will see that you can, by clicking the top right button, download it for use later in a visual display. The new feature, precisely, is the visual display, the slide function, the slide function. It can be downloaded in a PDF-type format. So, here you have it as a PDF, but the most interesting moment is at the end when it's in a PowerPoint format, and by clicking each button, you can use the animation. So I don't find it perfect, to be perfectly honest. I think it really lacks standardized formatting. We don't have the option to tailor it, but we're at the very start. The starting point is that the text is relevant, the topics are good, graph generation is fairly decent, it can be used in real presentations. And that's where I'll show you how we compare NotebookLM with Gamma, another tool built for visual presentations. For this example, I will show you how to use this Gamma tool, on which you have 400 credits, and you will create. Now we'll paste a portion of text. I will run various tests, and you will see that it is the most effective, the one I will show you. We will paste a sequence of text, and we will use the part we call the brief, which we generated earlier using the model's response with the copy button. We will export the entire content into the interface. We will be able to paste as we move on to the next generation. We will ask it to grasp the Gamma context and to cut each sequence. Automatically, we can interact if we want. We will be able to say that we want something short, simple, thorough, or to keep the exact content here. There are many parameters for the images. You also have plenty of parameters, and we can issue instructions. So the context will be clear. In principle, we'll have it generate a presentation about training and the system's essential topics. We click the generated button, and overall, all the information is there. What's missing for him are the graphs in under 3 minutes. We already have 19 slides prepared for the presentation. The automated drafting training content with LIA in RAG systems, including RAG deployments across platforms in practice. What is its purpose, exactly? How do you configure it? In what situations will we use it to improve responses with company data, to sharpen context and curb language model hallucinations? And there are several levels of complexity to RAGs. We have fairly simple RAG systems that, generally, cost less than $3,000 for a business, the basics up to more than $15,000 to $50,000 for more demanding firms such as law firms. Create a RAG with techniques. And today, you can do it quite simply by using no code at all. That is what we really show in information. Today, what interests us is to integrate sequences. So I showed how we integrated diagrams, including the interface, our doubt that she likes. We won't use the PDF, but we'll return to the presentation section. And when you're on a sequence, you simply need to select the slide, of course. For copying, simply right-click to copy, then return to the interface, add a new slide, paste your image, and you will have the option to type in your text. You can add a small descriptive title, and that's basically it for today as it stands. We really have a very useful tool by combining these tools through which we can integrate the advertising videos, the links and summaries. And that's exactly what we did just now. Once we learned my mapping, we will add it to our interface. I'll show you how we do /image_JLO. We're going to click on the right-hand side, fetch our image from the interface, and we've now integrated it into our final presentation. You simply center it and resize it if you wish. We also have the option to do so. Cropping it if we needed to cut a part of the image is also possible to do. And we can also give it a title if we wish, for the sake of the image itself. The main difference when combining these tools is the substantial time saving, markedly higher efficiency, and the ability to generate well-structured presentations by reducing by at least 70% the time you would have spent using Gemini Assistant 3.0 in the system across all platforms and workflows. NotebookLM. With both the presentation feature and the video feature, today it's one of the best tools I know. So if you haven't tried it yet, you haven't given it a go. Don't hesitate to do so and tell me in the comments what you think. See you soon. Please subscribe. It's not over yet. Until next time.